Now nearly half saying the country would be better off with someone else in the Oval Office. That is before they even know who's running. Joining us now, our Democratic pollster, Doug Schoen, a former advisor to President Clinton, and Ron Bonjean, former communication director to Dennis Hastert. Good to see both of you. Thanks so much for joining us this holiday. Great to have you. Ron, when you look at the activities the president is up to, he's working on a holiday. He's going to announce some more spending. Just don't call it a stimulus, the White House is saying, but that it will create jobs in 2011. Will promises cut it?
I don't think so. This is a Hail Mary pass that President Obama is throwing, days before the election. This is election eve, and the time for governing is pretty much over for the president. I mean, he can't really put together a stimulus package that will be and a tax cut package that will be effective. I mean, Americans were promised change that they could believe in. They were promised jobs. They were promised a growing economy. Democrats passed a stimulus package that failed. We're now at 9.6% unemployment. And now the president's coming out with a plan, lo and behold, on Labor Day because, he needs something to talk about. But this is really a sham. This is not going anywhere in Congress. They don't even really know how they're going to pay for it.
Doug, the Bureau of Labor Statistics is a treasure trove of information right now because the jobless numbers are higher than we were promised based on stimulus spending. And this caught my eye. Based on the 9.6% unemployment numbers, among whites, 8.7% are unemployed. But look at African Americans and Latinos. How critical is the vote of these minority Americans who are out of work? Let's first start with midterms.
Oh, Jamie, absolutely critical. The level of enthusiasm of African Americans and Hispanics to vote in this election compared to the one in 2008 is demonstrably lower. And if President Obama and the Democrats are unable to stimulate turnout from African Americans and Hispanics in the midterm, then the results will be as bad, if not worse, than some of the polls have suggested.
Ron, young voters, too, really felt the impact. This summer was the lowest in terms of summer jobs. They're graduating. They're not finding work because there's so many more experienced workers out there looking for jobs, not to mention all the people on the sidelines who have given up. So what about them turning out? They turned out hugely for President Obama. Will they be influential in the midterm elections?
I don't know. It's highly unlikely. They thought President Obama was going to bring the change, like I said before, and it just didn't work. They were crucial to his turnout in 2008 and helping Democrats generate the enthusiasm for the election. And I don't think they're going to be there for Democrats this November. And frankly, I think the real discussion in terms of creating jobs should be the extension of the Bush tax cuts and not raising taxes on job creators.
I hear that a lot from people on your side of the aisle, and also Michael Steele said there is a plan. Congressman Boehner said there is a GOP plan. It will be disclosed this month. Why wait, and what do you know about it?
Well, I think it's a smart idea to wait until after August to talk about what you're for, when voters are really paying attention. I think you'll see something in the next couple of weeks come out from the House Republican leadership. I don't know much what's in it, but I have a feeling it's going to focus directly on growing jobs in the economy.
Doug, what do you think about the plan so far, what the president has in mind this week? It's still billions of dollars that will be spent.
Sure. I think he's acknowledged we got to do something about jobs. Jamie, I think the small business tax credit that he's proposed is paid for. He's talking about extending the research and development tax credit, obviously the new spending on infrastructure. But he's fundamentally put forward a jobs program, and what you've heard from Ron is a lot of negativity and a lot of no programs, and he suggests that the Republicans can and should wait. I say we don't have the time to wait. We need bipartisan cooperation now to get the jobless rate down.
Or, Ron, is it a better strategy to wait and let the Democrats put forth this plan that may not show measurable results before the midterms?
Well, I was going to say, in the beginning of the Obama administration, this is exactly the approach he should have taken. He should have done a blend of tax cuts and spending instead of going the whole Keynesian approach and just throwing money at the problem. But this looks like an election year tactic where we really don't know the details to this proposal. We're hearing broad themes. The legislation hasn't been introduced in Congress. It doesn't look credible to me on the face of it that it's actually going to make it through. And they've also acknowledged voters aren't going to feel it by the elections. I think we need to wait until we have a Republican congressional majority to put forward a real credible plan that can be really thought through and put together in a bipartisan way that's taken seriously.
Bipartisanship. That
Absolutely.
is a concept we heard a lot about, and we'll hear from the president later today. Maybe we'll learn more about this plan. Gentlemen, thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Jamie.
Thank you.
Greg?
Concept is the right word for that. A wild animal escapes from a zoo. What authorities are now saying about how this tiger got out of its enclosure in Miami and who is being held responsible for the terrifying incident. Plus, a dramatic rescue at sea, the Coast Guard swooping in to save 7 boaters stranded in the waters off South Carolina. We're going to tell you how this one turned out.
I thought it was over here.
I've been looking